All right, well here we are at the end of another year, and what a wonderful year it's been, especially for the game room. You know, we started this game room about a year and a half ago. It was just something I wanted to do for the kids. It all started, I was a couple years, maybe 2 years ago when Destiny was really big. I was playing Destiny all the time, and I kind of find myself with my headphones on, playing at night with my buddies online, but I wasn't spending any time with my kids. And so I kind of rethought about how I wanted to spend time with the kids. I mean, I'm a gamer. I grew up with a Commodore 64, born in 74, so, you know, around early 80s. Arcades were really, really big at the time. My dad had a new and used store growing up, so we always kind of got maybe a year-old or 2-year-old consoles. So we had the Commodore 64, we had the Atari 2600. We never really got into the regular Nintendo, probably till I was in 6th or 7th grade. I ended up working all summer in a cornfield trying to make as much money as I could for shoes and whatnot, and I remember going to a pawn shop and buying my first Nintendo. With that I got Mario 3, and I also got TNC Surf, which is probably still one of my favorite games on that system. So what is the point of the game room? The point of the game room is just to provide an opportunity for my kids and myself. One, for me it's nostalgia. It's for me to remember kind of the pure and good times of when I was a kid, and to be able to let my children experience that. But if you can remember back when we were playing games and how exciting it was to be able to go to your friend's house and sit on their couch or sit on their basement floor, you know, a little bit like Stranger Things, except no Dungeons and Dragons, right? It was go over, get Mario, try to figure out what the next level was, try to find all the secrets. Like, that was the awesomeness that was our childhood, right? Being able to do that. There was no internet. There was, you know, we had Nintendo Power, if you were lucky enough to get that. And so you could read Nintendo Power. It might give you a few hints on what you could do, but it never really, it wasn't like it is now. And so the point of the game room, just kind of allow my children to experience kind of what I experienced, to have that bonding time with my boy, to sit and play Duck Hunt together, or play Mario, or Pokemon Stadium and fight each other. So what I want to do today is just take you around, look at each system individually, maybe go over some of my top 4 games that I like to play with the kids. They may not be the top 4 or the top 5 Nintendo games of all time. I probably couldn't even afford those if I wanted, but they're just games that we really enjoy as a family. We're just going to go around the room from left to right, clockwise. We're going to start off with Nintendo. We'll look at all the different Nintendo consoles. We'll look at some of the Sega stuff I got, kind of Nintendo Power, work our way around the game room, some pinball, and then we'll go in the back shop and I'll kind of show you what I'm working on. Well, I hope you enjoy this video. Grab some popcorn, do what you gotta do, kick back, relax. Hopefully you'll just enjoy this. I enjoy watching your guys' collections out there. All right, so scanning the room, top to bottom, we have a die-cut metal Mario that a friend made for me. We've got the Excitebike poster, some little toys and trinkets we got, a couple handhelds there, custom Mario skateboard I made, a little fingerboard, and as we move on down, we have Zelda and those guys. So, all right, on the top, I basically have my top 3 games that I enjoy: Excitebike, Super Mario 3, Zelda, and Pokemon Blue. Got a little Game Genie there. Other games I really enjoy, I got some Contra over here, Master Blaster, little Chippendales. Got a little Game Boy Color I ended up picking up about a year ago, a couple games with that. And then I just have some games alphabetically. Just games I picked up at thrift stores or wherever along the way. I only picked up a few actually from eBay. Metroid was one. I got that for my daughter's birthday a while ago. What do we have down here? Super Fitball. Nothing really exciting down there. Super Mario Brothers. Alright, the Nintendo Entertainment System was a system that I actually picked up when I was a young teenager. Nintendo is not actually the Nintendo I got. This is actually a box Nintendo that I ended up picking up at a thrift store. Turns out to be a really nice Nintendo. It's very clean. I might need to have to change the pins out in it eventually. Another game I really enjoy, if you can see it back there, is Ice Climbers. It's a game I really enjoy playing. If we just scan on up here, we're going to run into the old famous Super Nintendo. We've been playing a little Pokemon and Pokemon Yellow and Pokemon Blue, so we got the Super Game Boy set up in there. Don't have a lot of games, maybe 30 or so games. My wife ended up finding this on a Facebook classifieds ad. Some of the games I've added, The Secret of Mana, the Zelda, Kirby and Dreamland. Some of those games. And I have a few other games over here with that as well. Jurassic Park, Pac-Man. What we mostly play on here is Kirby and Dreamland, Super Mario All-Stars, Zelda, little Super Mario All-Stars back there, little R-Type, little Zelda. These are all the games that I really enjoy playing, so I have them up in the front. Alright, well the 64 came out actually when I and my wife were working at Walmart together back in the late mid-90s. And my wife's little brother ended up getting a 64. And so he was in 3rd, 4th, 5th grade. And we ended up playing a lot in his room with the 64. So some of the games that we would play was the Army Man, Sarge's Heroes. We played a lot of that with him. A lot of Tony Hawk. He wasn't really into the Pokemon stuff so much. Koa really enjoys the Pokemon. My wife's little brother, and kind of the memories I have of the 64 and playing with my wife's little brother mostly was Tony Hawk Skater, a little bit of Star Wars, and Army Man. So I wanted to get Army Man Sarge's Heroes for Koa, but he really enjoys Zelda, Star Fox, Pokemon Stadium, and some of those games. And probably Diddy Kong Racing has been our favorite game as of late. We've enjoyed a lot of Diddy Kong Racing. Okay, my wife grew up with the Master System. That's up there. It does not work. I tried it. I ended up getting it from my mother-in-law. And her favorite game in the Master System was the Fantasy Zone, so we just have the cartridge up there. She enjoyed that a lot as a kid, and as you come across just some things. My wife got me that Transformer a long time ago, old Optimus Prime. I ended up getting a few jets and things from G.I. Joe. I bought my wife that Starscream. Of course, there's the G.I. Joe game. There's my recent gift from Eric, that Transformers. And if you watch one of our earlier episodes of going to Portland, we kind of found that at a thrift store. And just a few other things. We got the Raptor and Computron up there. Okay, on top of the VHS player, we just have some random awesomeness that I found at thrift stores and yard sales. Small Soldiers is probably one of my favorite movies from when I was younger. Really enjoyed that. Got a little bit of Sega Genesis going on back there. This is the Sega that we have that works. I have the original Sega too, but it does not work. It's in box, but it does not work. So one thing I really enjoy doing is reading Nintendo Power. I didn't have this as a kid, but it's really fun to go through and look at these magazines. I ended up picking up this lot of magazines when I was in Washington at a retro gaming store, Back to the Future or something like that. And they just sold me the whole box of them, so they've been really fun to go through. There's about 60 or so. It's about 5 years worth of collecting, starting around 97, 98 basically, and then going up. And then I picked up a few others. The game room not be complete with Mr. Wreck-It Ralph.
My name's Wreck-It Ralph. I'm gonna wreck it!
Alright, moving along. We just kind of have a wall of awesome different stickers that have been sent to me from different products I've ordered. The Grinkfest, which I'm wearing the shirt now. I had a good time at Grinkfest. This is last year's shirt. Wife and I went to the US Open, and golf is always an awesome sport. Got some tin signs. And as we move up, just some random awesome Pac-Man, some more Grinkers, and that kind of stuff. Alright, Golden Tee's probably one of my favorite games in the arcade. I probably spend the most time playing this other than the pinball, just because it's relaxing. You can come home, get a drink, hang out, play some golf. Actually, maybe when this video is over, we'll go ahead and hang out. Those of you that want to stick around longer, we'll just play some games. I'll set it up on the tripod, play a little Golden Tee. I really enjoy this. It's just relaxing. Very first attempt at an arcade machine. We got a Space Invaders that was broken. The monitor was all jacked up. and it didn't run, and so Eric and I kind of worked pretty hard on putting this together, and went ahead and put a Raspberry Pi in it. You got your Nintendo, your Sega, DS, Neo Geo, Mega Drive, all that good stuff. Alright, so we'll go ahead and go into Mame and see what kind of options we have for some of the games in here. We have 1941, 1943, you can just kind of read them as we go. Not a lot, to be quite honest. I mean, I could probably go back and add more. Trying to get some of the more. Well, Moon Patrol is a good one. Nibbler. Pandora's Palace is actually really, really fun. If you guys have a Mame and you haven't checked out Pandora's Palace, I would check that out. I would say it's an underrated arcade game. Allows you to play some games that maybe you couldn't fit. I think having a Mame machine in every home arcade is fine. Camera actually shows the planet behind. When you look at it with your eyes, you can't see the planet. I'm playing it through looking at the screen. That's kind of interesting. I'm watching the screen through the camera. So, anyways, cool. We'll crash. Alright, moving on. Master System. I guess you can get all the pictures and stuff. I didn't do that with this one. Just a big list of games there. Mega Drive, which is basically the Sega Genesis. They're all alphabetical, so. Zombies Ate My Neighbors, that's always a fun one. Truxton, I was playing that yesterday quite a bit. Trying to get it. It's a pretty tough game though. So this just provides us opportunities. Some Neo Geo stuff, some regular Nintendo stuff, and some Super Nintendo stuff. Yeah, and I don't have any pictures, just a list of the games. Fatal Fury. So, there you go. Let's move on to Lethal Enforcer's Cab. If you've watched the videos, this is running Police Trainer in it right now. One of the problems, though, that we are having with it, if you notice on the left-hand side, the screen is starting to get dark. So I would imagine that is some sort of capacitor problem. Not exactly sure. But anyways, yeah, this is a great cabinet for shooting games. I still have yet to change out the right-hand rifle. But it looks good. The most favorite arcade system in the house is the Neo Geo. Bust-A-Move. Right now we're actually running King of Fighters 2000, King of Monsters, and Aero Fighters 2. But yeah, this is definitely the system that gets played the most. It's just a great system. It's a lot of fun, you know, and you can add different cartridges, which is really cool. So we have a few extra cartridges in the back. I do need to go through this and clean this up. All these buttons are a little bit dirty. I need to tear it apart, clean it up. That's going to be a future project. And then this corner is a little bit hammered, so we're going to do some Bondo on that and probably change out the T-molding, and obviously there's no decals. They've been painted over. So we'll have to fix that as well. If you watched our video not very long ago, I just opened up this bad boy. Kind of added him to my Transformers collection. What is an 80s kid without a Transformer? I don't know. I was probably one. I actually only had 2 Transformers when I was a kid. Soundwave was my childhood Transformer. I found him at a yard sale, I remember, and I loved him. I'd pack him around. I had a couple cassettes with him. Laserbeak was one of those. We got Kickback, a couple of the other Insecticons. Can't remember their names right now. Right? A bit of Devastator pieces. My kids bought me this one here, Sharkticon. And then Blaster in the back, huh? So here we have an original Optimus Prime with a little bit of broken. But his, the back is actually a remake. I bought the remake a couple years ago. How many of you remember Rock Lords? The Rock Lord character? And at the bottom is my most favorite line from the G1 Transformers series. We have the Dinobots. Snarl and Slag. And of course, who could not forget Grimlock? One of my favorite characters from the movie, the Transformers G1 movie, where unfortunately Optimus Prime died and it ruined the franchise. But, you know, gotta remember the good old days. And then what collection or game room would not be complete without some Star Wars figures? Star Wars is interesting for me. I really enjoyed the early 70s and 80s movies. And that is Star Wars for me. Unfortunately, anything else beyond that is just not Star Wars. Back in the early mid-2000s, my wife bought this X-Wing for me for a birthday. Looks a little dusty on the top. Probably write your name in that. So, funny story about the X-Wing. When I was young, 78, 79, 80, my parents got me an X-Wing for my birthday, and they got my little brother a TIE Fighter. And these are the original Star Wars that I'm talking about. And unfortunately, I thought my X-Wing could fly because I was young and I had a big imagination, and I threw it, and unfortunately it broke. Speaking of TIE Fighters, here's a TIE Fighters from the early 2000 series. And a few 90s figurines, I suppose. Looks like Darth Vader has lost his cape. But we do have Boba Fett. A couple of robots over there. One of my favorite robots, even though it didn't have a very large appearance in the movie, was R5-D4. So I have a sealed remake R5-D4. I believe I have a lot more of these figurines somewhere in a tote. This is just all I put here on the shelf. Speaking of Star Wars, the Ewok Adventure. One of the best, worst movies ever made. It's a terrible movie. But as a child, we watched it over and over and over. Look at the artwork on that. That little girl. Yup, yup. Yeah, that's an embarrassing Star Wars movie. You think Star Wars movies are bad now, go watch that one. Alright, well, let's go head on into the back office. This is kind of the workroom area. Anybody want a gumball? Well, it's not a gumball, it's actually a jawbreaker. Now this is special because it's broken, so it won't go forward, but you could go backwards. Look at that, wow. Yummy. So this is basically just my workbench here. Right now I'm working on the vector monitor for my asteroids. The bridge rectifier here has gone bad, and so I'm just going to replace that bridge rectifier and hope that, and then resolder and reflow solder on all the connectors, and hope that that gets that up and running. But that'll be another video. Got a few of my Neo Geo carts, Turf Masters, Art of Fighting, Metal Slugs 1 and 2, Fatal Fury 2. We pulled that out because we put the King of Fighters in, which we have been really enjoying. And then I also have the VHS of those Art of Fightings and Fatal Furies that I ended up picking up. A little bit of artwork from the Portland Retro Gaming Expo we went to. That was a great trip. If you haven't seen that episode, I'd check it out. Have in here, we got the Gate of Doom. I pulled the PCB out and I put that Final Fight PCB in. This had a G07 in it that had gone bad, so I was messing around and I just wanted to try to put a flat screen in it to see if I could. Alright, so I wanted to see if it was possible to put a flat screen in using a converter, and it is. I got some double-sided Velcro tape and ran a 2x4 behind there just to Velcro it on. It's not centered exactly. Mostly this was just a test to see if I could do it, since I don't have any monitors right now. So it's just something I wanted to try messing around with. I know it's not a very, it's kind of looked down upon, I guess, in the arcade world. But I think if you just had a machine and you only wanted one, and maybe you put a Pandora's box or something in it, it's an option for you to do. I don't know that it's the best option, but it is an option, and it seems to look just fine. We'll give it a credit here and just see what happens. Got Guy, Cody, and Haggard. Looks like it's a little bit bright. I haven't actually even played this. I just hooked it up. My boys come in and played it a few times. Play one-handed. Anyways, I love Final Fight's great, and having the PCB is awesome. This isn't where it's really going to go, but I just wanted to try this for fun. So the Asteroids is up and running. Everything's working. We just need to get that monitor up and done. Worked on the Outrun last week just a little bit, or the week before. Definitely need to figure out what we're going to do on the monitor in this situation. Not quite sure if I want to put an LCD in it, but if I needed to, then I could do that temporarily, just so the kids could enjoy it. So the idea is this room here, it is a shop, but I want it to be like a row of arcades, so the kids can come in and just have a whole row of arcades in here. So the quicker I can get them up and running, the quicker they can enjoy those. And as we move down the line, we have the Thunderblade, which I did a short episode on. Wasn't a very popular episode, but I don't know. I think it's an interesting cabinet. Pretty neat game there. Cyclone is a project that will take years to finish, so that's just going to sit there. We got Missile Command up here. A couple little unknown game marquees. Actually, Knights of the Round is a really fun game. It's a 3-player game. It's a pretty neat game. So then we have Konami's Sunset Riders. I do have the tube and everything for this. It's just upstairs. I pulled the tube out when I moved it because it was so heavy. Looking at this cabinet, it is a 1-speaker Konami, so which tells me that, and it came with the Turtles board. And so I think that they just put the Sunset Rider stickers over the top of the Turtle stickers, and that this is a converted Turtles. So whether we convert it back to a Turtles or we leave it as a Sunset Riders, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to do. I think it would be more fun as a Turtles cabinet, and then I could just keep the Sunset Riders board and swap them out and maybe get a Simpsons board. Lethal Enforcers is my most recent purchase. This is in a Dynamo cab. Used to be a Combat Tribes. So it was a 3-player game, which is basically Double Dragon 3, I believe. My goal with this cabinet is to convert it into a Street Fighter cabinet and have it a JAMA cab, so I can just swap out boards, or maybe even put in a multi-board of sorts, like a Pandora's box or something, so that way boy and girl can have more games and more fun. Okay, another pinball I've been working on is this F-14 Tomcat. I got a power supply for it and a couple of the boards. I don't have all the boards yet. And then I ended up taking the topper light off and I put it out on the high speed, because when high speed got shipped to me it broke. So I'll have to order a new one of those. Having looked over everything, I do have most all of the hardware. I'm just missing some of the basic components. So it was robbed. It was used as a parts cabinet and it was robbed of basic components. So I need to rebuild the flippers. There's lots of wires that have been cut, as you can see right here, and some other wires. So I think those went to the solenoids. It's going to be a big project for me to figure out. Some things I had to buy. I bought the Translight for this, which is here. I have a brand new Translight from Marco. And then I also had to buy this switch down here, and this section here, so it can go to the... So there's definitely some things I'm going to need to buy, but I mean, in reality, I suppose fixing up Cyclone would be a better project, just because it's a more desirable pin. F14 isn't the most desirable pin. And so when it comes down to it, I don't know if I'm going to end up swapping parts, but Cyclone is missing so much where I feel like I could actually, you know, with maybe a year's worth of work and a summer, I should be able to get this up and running, whereas Cyclone, I'm not sure. That project is so daunting. It's a little difficult to want to try. I mean, look at that wire mess. There's a mess of wires in there. Okay, I was excited to get Stratoflight. This is a 1974 pinball machine made by Williams. Electric mechanical. It's as old as I am, so I thought that was pretty cool. It worked pretty good for about a week or so, and then the switch got stuck, and I ended up burning up some solenoids. So I got to troubleshoot it and figure it out. So I ended up stealing some of... I have this LED'd out. You can take a picture of it here. He has flipped the switch. We're pushing the button. Okay, so let's see. So these ones look nice. We put some soft whites under those. And we're just going to start going around and clicking all the buttons. I'm not going to move the camera, so you're just going to have to kind of watch. These are soft whites under here. Oh, I got to start a game. Let's let it reset here. Alright, so we reset the game. Here we go.
And you only have 200 points.
So these look pretty much the same as they did before. They're just white, nothing special. Now these are supposed to flash, but oh yep, they're changing colors. Look, Koa. Those ones are color changers.
Yep.
So the color changers, and they're slow color changing. That needs to get screwed down. That one's not down all the way. So if our bonus light is turning red, which I kind of like, let's see if we can get our out holes here. Open top gates orange. These oranges look pretty good. We have a nice red. Our special is that red. Our out hole here is purple. That purple looks really nice behind there. So see, we get our little special bonus there. These, unfortunately, are just white, but they are LED'd white. Both of these are red. And then these are white, red. See how these are white, red, white, red?
And one is missing a light.
Which one?
One of those.
This one? That bonus? Well, this is double bonus. That's triple bonus. And then our same player shoots again is lit. I think it looks good. I like it. I think we could still do some more fun colors through here, maybe yellow and pink or something. But maybe having some of the traditional colors isn't a bad idea either. With all these soft whites here. That's kind of a retro light that I bought for those. I don't think anything's too bright or stands out too much. So, still the buzzing is happening. Then we have our pop bumpers. This pop bumper's, yep, it works. It pinched my finger. All right, so, yeah, I took the ball out. So there we go. Let's look at it from a distance. I think that's pretty.
What was up to the
Focus it, it would look even prettier.
number? What was up to the big number?
All right, here it is. The crown jewel so far of my collection in my mind. Our very first working pinball machine. Systems 11 high speed. I know a lot of you guys out there have a lot better pinball machines than this, but this is the best I got, and we enjoy this pinball. I was cleaning it the other day though, and I erased a bunch of paint that somebody had recovered it with, so we are going to have a professional artist come in and fix it, and then I bought the protective layer to put over it once it's all done. So I haven't really gone through this machine that much. I've just enjoyed it, so I haven't replaced too much, other than I think we put a couple of different LEDs, some colored LEDs. There's a green one. Looks like there's a post missing, so I need to replace the post. That little plastic there. But yeah, this is definitely one of the highlights for me of this game room. Thank you everybody out there for taking the time to watch this video. Hope you guys have a wonderful, happy New Year's. Be safe. Please like and subscribe if you like this kind of thing. Every subscription helps. I think we're almost up to like 20 now. So awesome. Hopefully we can get to 100 by the end of next year, if not more. Thank you so much for spending your day with us, your time with us. It was a lot of fun going around and looking at all the different things and remembering kind of where we picked them up and what we did. Hope you guys have a safe and happy New Year's. Let's make 2018 the best. Thank you so much.
Ha ha!